So here we are at day 19. It's April 7th, and everything's looking good. No sign of diatoms really. A couple of dusky spots on the rocks, but nothing really to speak of. The shrimp has rotted into pieces, which are grossly floating around everywhere. So it's pretty much disappeared. The ammonia this morning measured 0.50 parts per million, so it's still in evidence there. So I won't even test for nitrate until the ammonia goes down to zero or at least drops a little bit. And we'll see how things go. Of course, I would like it to cycle soon, but you know, it's one of those things you just have to wait. So I'll have to be patient. One thing we did learn, two things actually, in connection with an auto top-off. I feel like an adult reef keeper now because I have an auto top-off on my system finally. It's a Hydor Smart level, and we set it up so that the sensor is in the return chamber where the pump is, of course, because that's the level that will change throughout the day as water evaporates. And you can see our two black lines, and the lower black line is kind of the minimum water level. The upper black line is where the water goes when everything is shut off, so we really don't want water to go above that. And what we learned was that the outflow from the ATO pump, the hose should actually go into the same chamber as the sensor because of the delay in a multi-chamber system in the water reaching that point. Previously, when we originally set it up, we had the pump and the outflow located behind the center section, the refugium I like to call it, even though it's not a separately plumbed section. So we had the pump hanging on the back of that, and the hose coming out of the pump fell right into the back part of the refugium where the outflow is. So that little bit of white grate that you can see, that's where the hose was dropping the fresh water. But because of the delay in the water getting from there through the bubble trap and into the return chamber, when the sensor hit its maximum and the pump shut off, there was still water in the system that had not yet reached that part of the chambers. So when the water finally did reach there, the max alarm, or the alarm, was triggered because it went over the max, and we could not figure out why this was happening. We theorized this was the problem because of that delay. So we moved everything over, and now the hose, the new water, comes into the same chamber as the sensor. And since then, no problem. It's working perfectly. And the second adventure we had was because of a siphon, which we didn't realize could happen, but apparently it can. That RO jug there, RO water, has RODI water, and it fits perfectly on that shelf on the table behind it. Yesterday we filled it up completely, so the water level was right up to the top, and that's where we have the air hose coming out to go over to the auto top-off pump. So what happened was the water level in the jug was above the level of the pump, and it ended up creating a siphon. It turned on to pump its water when it was required, when the water level dropped overnight, and didn't shut off again, just kept going and going and going. So when we got up this morning, the alarm was going again, and we're thinking, now what? So we came over here, shut everything off until we could figure it out, and couldn't really figure it out until I noticed that there was still water dripping slowly from the end of the air hose, or the water hose there. And so I lifted that up, the water drained back, and then it stopped. So when we compared the levels of where the pump is and where the water was, it was on that shelf, we realized the water level was higher than the pump, and so it caused some sort of a siphon. It just kept going and going and going. So I have a feeling if we had not been home or we'd been away, it would have just completely emptied that jug. We do have the capacity down here to hold that much water, but it would have really messed up the flow. So we think we figured it out. Right now it's set up with the jug of water's on the floor. It was full last night. It pumped out half of that jug into my system here when that problem happened, and altered the salinity, but that's okay because it was really high, I think 1.029 or something like that, or 0.028. And my plan was to adjust it when I made the first water change. However, it's now 1.025, so that's kind of where we need it. or where I plan to try and keep it, maintain it like that. And so that was fine. That really didn't cause any problems. And of course, there's nothing in here. The only thing that's alive, hopefully, is a bunch of bacteria by now. And so that was good to know. That was a really, really good learning experience. We have today to figure out whether this is going to stay stable, and hopefully it will. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that, but if you're interested in this ongoing process, I will be posting a video that shows the progress of the tank on a daily basis, or pretty much daily, through the first 3 weeks of the cycle. And as soon as I get some time to string all those clips together, I'll put it up there. It's pretty interesting what happens as things cycle through. Again, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it.